What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your Hearst. I'm your Hearst. I am your host, Colonel and Dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and still resident superstar, Adrian Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
Well, what's going on, Garrett, man? It sounds like that intro should have been rehearsed it.
Yeah. I mean,
should have rehearsed it.
It's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks since we done a show, and got to get
out of practice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I should have just been standing in the mirror all morning, just practicing my lines. That's what I normally do. I usually memorize the entire show. It's actually all scripted. You guys don't realize that, but our show totally scripted. I'm an incredible writer.
Long.
All of JJ's jokes come from my head.
Yes, in reality, I don't speak like that at all. I've never spoken about anything getting hard or any of that stuff. Everything that I say is all it's all acting, all theater, based on the way that Garrett thinks and talks.
I don't know if I want to take credit for anything that's come out of JJ's mouth, so maybe I take that back.
It's too late.
Dang it.
You've already let the cat out of the bag.
Yep. People can clip that, and that is on the internet forever. Also joining us here in the podcasting studio is the heavyweight podcasting champion of the world, JJ Purdom. What's up, JJ?
Thank you so much, Garrett. That was wonderful. You didn't even trip over your tongue like you did in that intro. Thank you so much, guys. It's great to see you guys again. I feel like it's been so long. What a great break. We had a break, and I got rested. I feel rejuvenated, and I got to tell you, you better have that shady button ready to cover some of the stuff I'm going to say on this podcast today, because I'm bringing the heat, Garrett. I'm bringing the heat.
Boy,
he's got some R&R. He's ready to go.
Okay.
He's back and better than ever.
Right. Yeah, I am worried. I am worried, but you know what? It's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's good to be back. It was nice taking the 2 weeks off, because, so the first one break was for Christmas there, day after Christmas. The second one, I'm like, all right, it's day after New Year's. I probably could have done a show today, but it was nice just taking it easy. Now I'm ready. Now it's week 3. I'm like, yeah, let's get back to it. Let's do a show together.
Yes.
Did you guys go on any adventures over the 2 weeks, or were you pretty laid back holidays for you?
Yeah, I was in the house most of the time, just kind of hanging out. Getting my rest, getting some R&R.
Yeah. I mean, I saw on the Discord that you pretty much just played a lot of video games. You got through Ratchet and Clank. I saw you, just today, I saw you started Horizon.
I did.
You were just blasting through some stuff, so.
I'm making my way through the first party, the PlayStation Studios, one by one, catching up.
Nice. Legit. And JJ just worked, because that's all he ever does. Right.
Yep.
Actually, no, I took a great amount of time to reflect upon myself, to try to get to know the inner me, the child that I kind of feel like I've lost, man. I started reading a lot of like really deep Italian poetry, and I started bird watching. And so, I'm just kidding. I smoked a lot of weed and played video games. Yeah. It was glorious. It was freaking glorious.
I mean, look, there's not very many ways that you can spend your time better. So,
well, hey.
Yeah. All right. Well, I was like, oh, wow, JJ's really like, maybe he's finally growing up, finally maturing. And they're like,
never going to happen.
Never. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's get on with the episode. I know you guys missed the show, and I did too. So let's get back here today. We're going to be talking about the end of the PS5 shortage. That's right. According to Jim Ryan.
Surplus declared.
Over. How Starfield might actually be good, maybe? ? And that Bungie has a lot more going on than we thought. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumple Smash, Eddie Martin, and Kajoma01, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. Going to be awesome just like those folks. Head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Adrian's Super Gamer Book Club over there. We might not have released a regular show over the break, but we did release a Super Gamer Book Club, both on Patreon and on the free feed. So that's right. Adrian got me to play Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, boy.
That's over there on the Patreon right now, featuring KK Ryder and Angel, both from their respective Twitch channels. Go support us over there, listen to that, and go support them. Go find them on Twitch. They're incredible people. It was a blast. It was actually a blast hanging out, talking Kingdom Hearts with them. And spoiler alert,
he's in. That's a spoiler alert.
I'm glad I might not have enjoyed the game, but I'm here for the story. whatever that means, because let me tell you, it still seems all over the place. But that was a fun episode, so go check that out over on our Patreon for free. If you're interested in our Super Gamer Book Club, you're not sure if you want to support us, get those new episodes right away, you really should. But if you want to check it out first, find us everywhere on all podcast feeds and over at youtube.com/supergamerboys. And you can get episodes 2 months later. Right now, the brand new free episode is Luigi's Mansion with Connor McCabe. Fantastic episode again. Great game with a great guest. We had a blast with Connor over there. So go check that out. And I think this is the first formal announcement for this month, although we've kind of like alluded to it and mentioned it a couple times to come up. The January book club episode. Adrian, if you would like to reveal that.
The January book club is the world famous, highly regarded by most classic from the Super Nintendo. It's Squaresoft's Chrono Trigger. That's right. Me, Garrett, and a gang of people. We got like, what, 3-4 people coming in on this one?
Well, I think, let's see.
We got the Underlevel Boys. We got Eddie.
Eddie and El Chizo. I don't know if Angel will be able to make it, but definitely Eddie and El Chizo. Was there someone else? I can't remember. I just remember, like, I feel like there was, we were talking with a bunch of people. I don't know who all has accepted the invitation. I know for sure Eddie and Chizo have, which are, they're the two main, that was the feud that happened. So on an episode, if you don't remember, about a month or two ago, Chizo came on, said Chrono Trigger's a terrible game. He hated it. And Adrian was just shocked by the news. And then Eddie later in the Discord came back and was like, did I just hear what I think I heard?
Had a conniption fit. You thought I was upset?
Oh, man, he was not happy. So we were like, you know what would be better than them arguing over Discord? Them arguing over a podcast for you guys to listen to. So you won't want to miss that one. That'll be coming out the end of this month. So make sure to support us over on Patreon for that. All right. Well, we'll talk more about our Patreon later on in the show. Before we get on here, I do want to give a quick shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. That's what's playing in the background right this very moment on stream and I guess on podcast and YouTube as well. You should go support them. Links to their Apple Music and Spotify are down in the show description. Go listen to their stuff. They make fantastic tunes. All right. It's now time to check the mail.
Do you hear something?
Hello? Someone just knocking on the monitor here. Someone just knocked on my monitor.
Hello, is nobody home? Hello.
Yes.
This is place where Super Gamer Boys hang out, no?
Yes. Is this Mr. Putin?
No, it's very, very good. He's Russian, so must be related to Putin. Okay, so maybe little distant relationship. My name is Demeter. I am now the person delivering the mail, okay? So I have a whole bag full of mail for you guys, all right? It smells like sadness and people living in basements. So obviously, this is people living with their parents or something sending this stuff in.
Yes.
I take liberty, Demeter, like to open mail sometimes, okay? I know it's federal offense, but it's not like I'm from here anyway. So I open this up, and I want to tell you the first one is kind of wishy-washy, but I'll let you read.
Okay.
Sorry about the Vegemite. Little fingerprints. Demeter was having lunch.
No problem, Demeter. Thank you for the mail. Go get your boy and tell him to cut it out over there, you know?
Yeah, okay. All right, then. All right, Demeter out.
Wow, that was fun. Fun little surprise guest there. I wasn't expecting to have an actual mail person stop by. I usually they just drop it in the mailbox. But that was nice personalized touch to come to our door and deliver the mail. That was fantastic. Thank you, Demeter? Was that his name?
I don't know.
Oh, you were
just opened the door.
I don't even know if the guy really works for the mail because dude, he had like a wife beater on and it was stained. So like, I mean, seriously, isn't there like an outfit?
That's what my mail person looks like here in California, down in San Diego. I don't know.
Good point.
In El Cajon, that's what my mail person looks like. All right. Well, let's go ahead and read this first already opened letter. Thank you so much. He pre-opened the mail for us. It's fantastic.
Can I tell you? I actually, and I should have. Cat out of the bag. We didn't actually have a Russian guy in here. That was me doing the voice. Okay. No. Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I know. Guys. I know. I'm sorry.
You lied to us again.
Dude. I know. I'm so sorry. I had a male guy who was absolutely incredible for the longest time. His name is Marvin, and Marvin was 5 foot tall, black dude who had a tracheotomy, and so he would.
Did he have one of these things?
Yes. So I don't know if he was a smoker. I never asked. I loved Marvin. I would love to talk with him, mostly because I would do the impression of Marvin like behind his back because that's what I do. So every time that I see him, Marvin, what's up? Hey, what's going on, man? What you doing? And I'm like, oh, dude, great. So I mean, he was all the time, and I would tell him because I did pest control, and I would get chased by dogs sometimes, and I'd be like, Marvin, what's up, man? You ever have any problems with dogs? Oh, man, I don't ever run with those damn dogs, dude. I spray them in the face. Oh, my God. What do you spray them in the face with? And I spray them in the face with, like, some mace and stuff, man. Hold on. I got a can in my pocket. And he proceeded to give me a can of mace, like a little small can, to spray. Hey, man, anytime they come at you, man, you don't mess with no damn dog. You don't even know what they're gonna do, man. Yeah, you gotta spray them in the face. Just get them in the eyes. You know what I mean?
He's a smart dude because that works. They got those super sensitive noses.
Yep.
They're messing right up.
Here's the deal. I never used it. Not that I wouldn't have. I just never had the opportunity to. But I carried that thing around, and he's like, I was like, oh man, I don't want to take your stuff. Oh man, I got like 3 or 4 of them in the car, bro. Don't even trip. And like, he was the coolest cat ever, man. Everybody in town hated Marvin, and everybody in town would talk about, because it's a small town, I knew everybody there. Everybody like, man, that freaking mailman dude, he sprayed my dog in the face. I heard it like so many times. He don't like dogs, dude. Dude, I'm tell you what.
No, your dogs don't like him, and I bet I can tell why.
It was great. So, Marvin, if you're listening to the Super Gamer Boys, I love you, man. I just miss you.
Oh man. I just couldn't imagine. Like, there's a couple instances I wish I would have had mace for a dog, but I also couldn't imagine just spraying a dog and then going to the front door and being like, "Hey,
if that dog is about to attack me, it's getting a face full, brother.
Here's your mail. By the way, your dog is just not in a good way. You might want to go help him."
Marvin was a little dude, and so it's funny enough. Like, I ended up actually, because I would befriend him and I'd talk to him forever. I loved him to death, and like, we would just talk. I actually went to his house and did pest control for him just as a friendly thing once. And yeah, he's just a really good dude, but he was only 5 foot tall. And so when you're a smaller dude and like a 100-pound dog could jack you up.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I ain't mad at it, dude.
Not at all.
Save your butt. Because if a dog comes at me, I'll hurt him. I'll tell you what, like Garrett had an issue with the dog, and I hope you don't mind me telling this.
I've been bit 3 times now.
3 times?
Twice by the same dog. So, you guys see the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio got raped by a bear? That happened to Garrett with a dog.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it wasn't quite that.
Yeah, it's not the way I remember it. And so, what happened was Garrett's like, I'm not going back to that house no more. And I was like, don't worry, little Garrett. I'm going to go and I'm going to tell them what for. So I called the people and was like, hey, our technician got bit by a dog. And if we're going to come and do pest control for you, you need to put your dog away. Because the dog has always been aggressive when we've gone. But Garrett got bit and he's fine. But we got to have that dog put away if we're going to do pest control. So I showed up the next time to do the service myself. Garrett said, I'm never going again. I'm like, I don't blame you, dude.
I'm not going. I'm done.
so I did the thing, and it was it's like a big poodle, like a giant poodle dog.
It's like one of those labradoodle things. Like it was
yeah.
Okay.
And
which they're notoriously kind of like...
Yeah, they're aggressive. Yeah. And
aggressive.
so I was doing the service, and it just starts barreling at me, and I kind of turn a little bit, and it start making a beeline for me. So I took a web pole that was about 12 foot long for like taking webs down. And when it got close enough to me, I swung for the fences, and I hit that son of a gun like Lou Gehrig, before he got the MLS. And like, dude, the thing is that dog never, ever tried to bite me again. It would stay about 12 to 15 feet away from me and would not come close to me again. And I told the owners, I'm like, I hit the hell out of that dog. I hit it hard. And like you got to put that dog away. We're so sorry. They were apologizing to me. I'm like, I'm sorry that I beat the crap out of that dog.
We already told you to put it away, and you didn't.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the trick with me, I had my headphones in, didn't hear it, and it came up from behind me. It got me. I had no idea it was even out. Like I thought it was inside, and all of a sudden, like I just got knocked over because full force just ran and wham right in the back of my thigh, knocked me over.
And that's how he got raped. And he's went through a lot of rape counseling from that. So.
Oh man! All right, we should probably move on with the show. We got a lot of show here, and we got to get going with the show before JJ falls asleep. Is what the truth of it is.
I fell asleep 2 minutes ago.
This first question comes from Sweats, and they ask, "What character or game series needs a 360 canon change?" Now they use the word "need," but then later on the question they say, "I would like" or "I want." So maybe what game, character, or series could get a 360 canon change or should? And then his examples are like Jack and Daxter going from a 3D platformer to a GTA with talking animals and magic. He would like, it says, I want Kingdom Hearts Elden Ring mashup. Maybe just a whole game taking place in one world of just deep lore and gruesomeness. So it sounds like he just wants like a rated M Kingdom Hearts, I think. Because Kingdom Hearts already has the lore and it has some tough boss battles already. Right. I think he just wants a really gory open world Kingdom Hearts, which, to be honest, I'm not against. I don't know how Disney would feel about that.
Right. You got
one? So I was struggling with this a little bit. A 360 canon change, because I don't know, like not very often do I play a game and I'm like, oh, this game would be so much better as X, Y, and Z. Like, you guys kind of know I'm pretty easy to please. Most games I'm just like, oh yeah, this is fine. I'm happy with this. I guess the only thing I could think of was, well, so I don't think it needs it, but it could have been fun back in the day. And again, I guess there's been game sense. I don't know. Yeah, it was hard. The only thing I thought of was back in the day, there was a game called SOCOM, which is a cool single player. I mean, you could play multiplayer. It was what PS2 era. So you had to buy the modem adapter to play online. Like you couldn't just play online at that point. But it was a single player game initially that you could actually talk into a headset and tell people in the game to do things, which was crazy. At that point, it was like blew people's mind. Like, what? You can voice activate, like, tell your Navy SEAL squad to like, eliminate that target, go stand behind that cover, do that type of stuff. It was if I remember correctly, I think it was a third-person game. I don't know. I think if that was like a first-person shooter, like a faster-paced first-person shooter, which I guess isn't necessarily lore change, but it is a gameplay change, which he said we could do. Yeah, give me more a first-person, fast-paced, squad-based shooter where I can do that type of thing. Like I want to be able to like command my squad and that type of thing. I don't know. I enjoyed the slower-paced simulation combat kind of thing. That's what it was meant to almost simulate more realistic combat. But I'm like, nah. Imagine like a Call of Duty where you could do that. Like, so I don't know. Not quite a full 360 change, but I think it'd be a really fun game mechanic that would kind of spin on that already existing thing and make it a little more intense.
I got two.
All right.
My first one is, I think a Metroid tactical game would rule. kind of like how Metal Gear Acid was, where you make your way through the stage as you play. You could do that and like make your way through whatever, area, level, ship that you're in. I think that would be really rad.
Yeah.
And then my second would be a Smash Brothers card game in the vein of Marvel Snap.
Whoa.
Where every character has an ability on their card. They have a strength. They have, and the battlefields change depending on what stage you pick.
That would be sick. See, I would play that. Marvel Snap, trash game. No one likes Marvel Snap. It's garbage.
Really? That's not what I've heard.
I know. We're gonna get so much hate. I know. There's so many people who are all about it in our Discord.
So
I would play Smash Brothers card game though.
I'm not sure if either of you guys have ever been like fans of point and click adventures, like any point and click
Heck yeah.
type of games. Okay, so I love the point and click genre from when I was growing up, because in the beginning, when Nintendo Entertainment System put out a couple of really great games, one of which was Maniac Mansion, and I absolutely love that game. I've talked about it here on the show before. It's totally worth it. It's totally colorful and different and fun. I love the idea of the point and click, but I would love to take that same game and do like a platformer with all the same colorful characters and get away from the point and click style of gameplay. So just a traditional platformer with the same characters and the same story where you're actually in control versus the point and click, version of the game. So I'd like that kind of a change for something like that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things you could do. This is kind of an endless question. It's kind of fun. Like, I feel like I could almost be a recurring bit, like every week, be like, pitch a new game. Like, all right, now it's going to be, trying to think. I have my play date in front of me. I'm trying to think of like cool new like ways to like switch up like play date stuff. What's the pack pup?
Pick pack pup.
Pick pack pup, but like where you can actually like in VR. That's what I want to do. Where I'm actually packing boxes. That would be sick.
You joke.
I would do that all day.
Right. Oh yeah, he loves unpacking. That's right. Adrian does love him some unpacking.
I sure do. So does everyone else except you.
I know. I try to talk a little trash, and you're like, "Hey, you need to stop right now, sir."
Stop or you're off the show. This next question comes from Sir Princelot, and they ask Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmore questions you've had thus far. Now, this was little.
Does that mean you have to pick 4 of them?
Well, I think that's what he intended. But since you guys, JJ, doesn't look at the show notes ahead of time, and I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily prepare very well either for this one. I had one, and then before the show, I told the guys, I'm like, wait, I can't remember what it was. I had one picked out. I can't remember. Let's just pick one for now. What's your favorite Mount Rushmore question we've gotten from old Eddie Martin over there so far?
I like the weapons and items one.
Oh, your favorite, like, power-ups and weapons items. That was a good one. You're at Mount Rushmore.
Where you had to pick, like, what's the iconic Mount Rushmore of, like, in-game weapons or in-game, gear.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty sick.
That's a good one. I
could have swore there was one that was, like, the Mount Rushmore of, like, Nintendo characters.
Yeah.
I could have swore that was one of the ones in the beginning.
I think so.
And I remember struggling because I wasn't gonna pick Zelda, and I'm like, you kind of gotta go with some Link on that. You have to put him on the list,
right? Because I feel like at the beginning it was more like we tried to be more objective about it, and as time went on, it would spend more of our opinion, like what what do you like, not necessarily like what is. But yeah, you're right. I think we did Nintendo one. So I have 2 that popped into my head now. Well, one I finally found it, and then another one just popped into my head again. So the first one was favorite video game sidekicks, because that kind of spurred the whole argument that we had about Luigi being a sidekick. I just thought that was so great. Like when I first brought it, you guys are like, "What? No, he's not a sidekick. Get out of here."
Because he isn't.
I still stand by it. I think he's a sidekick. And then the other one was of game soundtracks as well, because that one was hard. That was hard to just pick 4. Is like, can I just keep going? I mean, 3 of them are just filled with super giant games, and let alone every other game out there. So I think those are probably my 2 favorite: the Sidekick one that we've done, and then the favorite, the Mount Rushmore game soundtracks. Those are both very fun ones. All right. This last question comes from Kajoma01, and they ask, what game franchise needs its own roguelite deck building game? So Adrian, I feel like already has an answer to
I'll
this.
just double back and we're good.
He has his, and again, this is from all the craze of Marvel Snap. Kajoma is so far into it. He's like, I don't know if you've seen anything. He streams it. He's like a Marvel Snap streamer, and he's pretty dang good at it.
He's level 68,000.
Yeah, something. He like posted a screenshot of what level he was. I'm like, I don't know what this means, but like it was to the point where like it was the end of the list. Like you couldn't go any higher. I'm like, he must be good if he's almost to the end of how high a level you can go. What is a game then, JJ? And I'll think of one here real quick. What's a game that you think would be a fun like kind of strategy,
fun deck building game?
Yeah, deck building strategy card game type thing.
Yeah, I would say Spider-Man, not Miles Morales, but the original Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think there's such good characters in that. I think that would be like a lot of fun to have some of the different storylines that Spider-Man, not just even from that one game. I mean, there's so much Spider-Man stuff out there that like I think you could build a whole game around it,
like an Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
Deck building game.
There's
so it's like
so much.
So instead of, because like he's in Marvel Snap, but you're saying like zoom in just on Spider-Man.
No, just
and,
on
like,
Spider-Man.
Let's go
Yep.
hardcore Spider-Man lore and have like all the
And
villains, all the different
I was
versions
aware
of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was aware of the whole Marvel thing, but I'm just talking just Spider-Man specifically.
Yeah.
I think there's so
totally.
much to Spider-Man. Like I still stand by this, and I'm willing to like throw hands that I think that Into the Spider-Verse is like the very best Marvel movie of all time. Like I just absolutely love it, and I didn't
so
expect
excited
it
for the
to be
new
so
one.
good. Yeah.
For me, I'm not a fan of these types of games, as you can tell. I kind of talk crap about Marvel Snap.
What about Warhammer, dude? No.
He probably did. He probably had that one loaded up.
Yeah, I just killed it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Garrett. Oh my gosh.
That's kind of where I was gonna head. I was like, if it's gonna be anything that draws me and gets me interested, it'd have to be a Warhammer one.
If it had little figures I could paint, like that'd be my jam.
Instead of cards, it's little minis, little miniatures that show up on the screen. No, but no, so no joke. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'm trying to think of a franchise that would like actually make me interested in a deck building game. And I know Kajoma's gonna probably message me later on Discord and be like, "Hey, they already have one. You should go play it." And I'm gonna be like, "No, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry." So even though I'm saying right now on the show that hey, if they make this, I'll play it. I'm not gonna play it. I'm probably not gonna play it. But it would be a lot of fun if there's a Warhammer one. And I know Magic the Gathering, I think, did like a Warhammer set or something like that. That's not the same. I want Warhammer Games Workshop, which the stipulations for it to be an official Games Workshop Warhammer card game needs to be overpriced with crappy rules that are hard to understand, and then I will play it. That's the basic gist of Warhammer. So
I love that you just said 2 children, Adrian, because even though if you did want to play that game, there's no ability. You don't have the time or the chance to be able to do that, to really get into a deck building game like Warhammer with having a couple of kids. But I take you back in time. Let's jump into the DeLorean real quick, because it was a few scant years ago that you and I sat on this very podcast before Adrian was a gleam in his daddy's eye, and we were doing this show back in the early 80s. And I
remember.
Yeah. And we talked about me having kids and saying, I have no time. And you laughed about the old man and how you just make time, JJ. And I'm like, you don't understand, son. There is no time. You don't just make time. And you're like, bah, you scoffed because you had one kid and you're like, the wife takes care of the kid. And now look at you, boy. Like now you don't find time to be able to play video games and whatnot. What happened to all your time, Garrett? Do you remember when the old man was right?
There was time now.
The problem isn't that there's less time. The problem is I'm just more tired.
And there you go. There you go. I rest my case.
When it's 8:30 and I'm like, or not even, like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm ready for bed. Like, we put the kids down to bed at 7, and basically it takes them an hour to actually fall asleep. So like they're just falling asleep, and then I'm like, all right, now it's Garrett's bedtime. That's not what usually happens. I just stay up and force myself to go play a game or do like paint some minis or something. But then I wake up the next morning and I'm even more tired. So yes, there's still the same amount of time. It's just a lot more tiredness going on, unfortunately. Oh man. All right. I'll say it. JJ was right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Timestamp that.
Thank you guys all so much for writing in. Remember, you can write in over anywhere you want. DM us on any of the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Or if you're over on the Discord, supergamerboys.com/Discord. You can join us over there. Come hang out with us. We have a blast chit-chatting, hanging out. We're even getting ready to do a Fantasy Critic League, which, I mean, is drafting tomorrow night. So really, if you listen to this episode on Wednesday, it's too late. But if you're watching this live or you're a Patreon subscriber and you're listening to this Tuesday 7:30, we're going to be doing a draft. So get in there, join us on Discord, join the league, and do a draft. And like I said, send in your mailbag questions so that way we can talk about them next week. All right, it's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Yes, so good.
Never fails.
Been too long. All right, this first news story comes to us from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN, and they write, PlayStation 5 passes 30 million units sold. Shortage essentially over.
Congratulations.
Congrats. They finally did the thing. Sony has announced that its PlayStation 5 console has now surpassed more than 30 million units sold. Thanks to Adrian, finally bought one. That's what pushed me to the edge.
That's what did it.
And that the console shortage.
We were stuck at 29,990,000 for so long.
Sony Interactive Entertainment President Jim Ryan revealed the new figure at Sony's CES Tech Conference, a number which is up 5 million from the 25 million figure revealed 2 months previously on November 1st. We truly appreciate the support and patience of the PlayStation community as we manage unprecedented demand amid global challenges over the past 2 years, Ryan said. PS5 supply improved toward the end of last year, and I'm happy to share that December was the biggest month ever for PS5 console sales, and that we have now sold more than 30 million units to consumers worldwide. Confident that supply issues are now solved completely, Ryan added that everyone who wants a PS5 should have a much easier time finding one at retailers globally, starting from this point forward. That's a bold claim.
That's a very bold claim.
A crippling semiconductor chip shortage seriously restricted the creation of new PS5 consoles, but this didn't stop the PS5 from surpassing 20 million units sold as of June 2021, at which point Sony executive Veronica Rogers announced that the company was planning on a significant ramp-up in PS5 production. So, yeah, the news here is that congrats, PlayStation, you hit 30 million on the PS5. But I just wanted to touch on how Jim Ryan is absolutely certain that the PS5 shortage is over, which is just an interesting take when, yes, there are more out in the wild. I've had friends see them at a GameStop or something like that, but
I have yet to see one in the wild.
Me personally, I've never seen one in the wild.
I have. I've seen them at my local Walmart. And so, and
again, it takes people 3 hours to drive up there. It makes sense. Nebraska.
Yeah, it just seems like can you really declare the shortage is over when, like, if I should be able to walk into a Walmart or Target or GameStop and there should be more than one there, right? Like, a shortage is over when there's like 2, 3, 4. Like, I remember the days back in my day when you walk in to buy to a Walmart or Target and there's like 5 PS4s in there in the thing, like 5 Slims and then like 2 or 3 Pros sitting there ready for whoever, and they probably have like 2 or 3 pallets in the back. So when right now you walk into a store and that display case is
a wasteland.
Is empty. Is the shortage really over? Like, if the only place to buy these consoles is online from PlayStation directly, is the shortage really over? Because that's what it seems like.
Well, the shortage is over for them.
Yeah.
Right? It's not over for Target. It's not over for Walmart or Best Buy or anywhere or GameStop. It's over for directly from Sony.
Yeah.
I mean, the chip shortage has stopped, right? So basically, they're able to produce the consoles. That doesn't mean there's going to be a lot more on the shelf. That they're like, hey, we're able to produce the consoles now. There's not a shortage any longer. But is the secondary market still going to be doing the thing that they do by going in and going, I see an Xbox or Series X, or I see a PS5 sitting on the shelf at Walmart. I'm snatching it up and going to put it up to try to make myself $100.
No,
off of eBay.
People are already getting burned on those.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to get them straight from PlayStation, or there's so many other times when other retailers are getting stock in at this point.
Yeah.
That those guys that you saw that had like pictures of dozens of them just kind of like stacked in some like basement somewhere, they're all getting burned on all those, and they have to sell them back at retail or sell them on eBay.
Yeah. I will admit they are getting easier to get, but I don't know if I would go as far as to say like a shortage is over. Again, like from the perspective, like you said, JJ, where the chip shortage is over. Yes, 100%. I would. That's probably what he's talking about. But from trying to get them, like, yeah, they are definitely easier, because I feel like at least like every couple weeks, PlayStation now is tweeting out like, hey, like, check your emails or sign up to get in line, our virtual line, in order to buy one directly from us. But again, like, to me, it seems like you can't really declare a shortage is over unless like I can walk into any store and there's like 5 of them sitting there waiting for me to go pick up. Right.
It's probably going to be a while before you see that yet, to be honest.
So that's also why they made so many refreshments to that line, right? It's because they were trying to figure out ways to get over the circuits that they needed and the chips that they needed. Because with PlayStation consoles, they do make iterative updates to the way that they do the architecture based on like how much parts cost to manufacture or data that they took from the original blueprint, right? But this is the fastest that we've ever gotten new models per se. I think in 2 years we're on like the 4th revision. And I think that's because they're searching for ways to build this console without having to use the original parts from launch, which they can't get anymore. That's just a theory, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think
and they're always trying to make more money off it too by like using cheaper and cheaper parts.
Cheaper parts.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that the quality of the systems are better now than they were at launch?
I've never heard anybody say that they had a problem with the launch models. I think it's Sony. They're trying to figure out any way that they can to get around this shortage to get, units in people's hands.
Yeah.
So I have issues with mine every once in a while shutting down. It ends up, of course, we lived in a home where we were doing construction, but it gets dust in it very easily. So I have to pop it open and like try to blow it out and vacuum out a lot of the excess dust, because the excess dust, and it's probably down in the motor as well. I've watched videos where these get taken apart completely. I don't trust myself to take this apart because I will not know how to put it back together.
When you take the side panel off, there's like little slots that you can put a vacuum hose on.
The dust ports, yeah.
And you're still having issues?
No, it'll do fine. Like if you pop that off and do it, it'll do fine, and it might be a month or two, and then all of a sudden it'll just crash again. And then you'll open it up and it's like kind of dusty and stuff like that. So it's almost like you need to get like a bigger blower motor or something that's an external to help keep the thing cooled off, because with all that dust, it just ends up getting overheated. And again, it could have been because I had construction going on with drywall dust and things like that.
I know there was one of the revisions was the fan, because when that happened, I remember there was a bunch of YouTube videos came out like how to change the fan yourself, because you can buy them on eBay. Like because they changed from the original style fan to like a newer style fan that has like more blades and pushes more air and stuff like that. And from what I've heard, it didn't necessarily change the quality of like transferring heat, but what it did help was being quieter, because it more blades, it's going to push more air and stuff like that. Because I know like the original model, there was complaints of it being noisy. I never really felt like mine was noisy, but mine's behind the stand. Like mine's so far away, even if it was noisy, I wouldn't hear it, I guess. But
I can barely hear mine, but I can hear it. Like I have to go up close to it to hear it, but I don't know what it is. Whatever game I play, I can always hear it. I hear it very faintly, but when I had an Xbox, I couldn't hear it at all. Like I could be playing something super demanding. I go up and put my ear like on the console. I couldn't hear anything. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. So we have Giving Kittens in the chat. He commented on the shortage. He's like, only what, like 5 years later to finally
pretty much.
But he goes on and says they make more money that way if you buy it directly from them, which is why they're constantly doing it. But then he goes on to say, are they shorting the market intentionally? His speculation is, are they possibly shorting, Target and Walmart and all the Best Buy and stuff like that in order to make more money on their end there? Do you think that's something they're doing on purpose?
They could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. I would want people to just buy it from me if I make more money that way, and then I could just cut out all the shipping I have to do to my retailers and their warehouses.
Yeah.
The only reason that we don't have them controlling the ecosystem top to bottom is because of them, right? But if they're able to move units straight through themselves, they don't need retailers anymore. So maybe this is the test bed for that. Like PS6 may just be available through Sony.
Well, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I saw somebody saying that they were bad guys for that they were claiming that, like, this was a heel move on their part, that they were trying to make more money by doing that. I wouldn't say that it's a bad guy move or a heel move. I think that it's a business move. And you can't attribute good or bad to a business because it's not. The idea is to make money. It's about profits. It's about, sustainability. And so, that's just my thought.
No, I get you.
I agree with it. I don't know. I honestly, I think 2 of the PS5s that I purchased, yours, JJ, that I got for you, and then someone else. I got one for someone else. We're both through PlayStation Direct. Like, it is easy and nice because you literally just get in a virtual line. They email you when the sale goes live. You log in, you buy the PS5, and you're in and you're out. You're like, that's it. That's easy peasy. Like, they make it easy and nice. So, I mean, yeah, maybe I'm, hurting Walmart, which who cares? Like, I was gonna say, like, Walmart's
they'll be okay.
Walmart's they'll be fine. They're not. Who cares about Walmart? And if it means that I have a nice, easy, smooth experience purchasing this thing, then who cares if they're shorting the market intentionally? As long as
we're pretty good at getting those systems for a little while. Like, everybody was calling you Magic Fingers Morlang.
I mean, I had people coming to me to get the Switch OLEDs when they came out, to get the PS5s for them. I was like a little black market dealer going on there. I should have taken more of a cut from people. Most people, I just did it for free. I was like, I'll take care of you.
You missed out on the revenue stream.
Missed out. Could have been a side gig. PS5. So run out today. Go buy one right now because apparently they're everywhere, according to Jim Ryan.
Immediately.
My buddy Derek has got some little extra money for Christmas or something. I don't know. He's saying he's like, I have a little money. I've been saving up for a PS5, and this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's like, I'm gonna go get one. And I don't know if he went to the GameStop or he called a bunch of GameStops, a bunch of stores in his area. Oh, he has credit for GameStop or something like that. And like all the GameStops in his area, and there's like multiple. He lives in a city big enough where there's like multiple. They're all like, no, we don't have any. Like, that's like a bigger city with multiple GameStops, and they're all like, no, like there's no PS5s.
You wasted your time.
There's that. So what's the deal with that, Jim Ryan? I expect an answer by next week.
Good luck.
Right. Yeah. This next news story comes from Joshua Duckworth over at Game Rant. He writes, Starfield playtesters are reportedly loving the game. Starfield playtesters are reportedly enjoying the upcoming Bethesda RPG, with even pessimistic folk allegedly coming away with strong, good first impressions. In short, many seem to think that Bethesda has nailed Starfield's scale, as well as its general size and ambition compared to Fallout. As many know, Starfield is the first new IP from Bethesda in decades, and its releases tend to be seminal events in the industry. Skyrim, Fallout, and more have defined the company's success, but obviously this puts a lot of pressure on anything new from the company, and this is especially true since Bethesda was acquired by Microsoft, with Todd Howard previously discussing the pressure for Starfield to be a platform seller. But if these supposed first impressions are anything to go by, perhaps it just might. This information comes way of the XNC podcast and host Colt Eastwood, who claims to have a channel of people connected to people playtesting the game. All in all, it says, all in all, he should be taken with a grain of salt. But even as Eastwood says, he doesn't want to oversell Starfield, but even pessimists are walking away impressed would be a good sign. However, that's about as deep as it goes. Starfield supposedly tastes... where's it? Did I skip a paragraph? It's gone. Starfield supposedly takes everything Bethesda has done in Fallout and Elder Scrolls franchises, doubles down on them, and improves them. Many have been understandably worried about the hundreds of star systems as well as the thousands of planets in Starfield, but it seems that the scale of the game has gotten some praise. This bodes well, especially given the reportedly good impressions about its ambitions and story, gameplay mechanics, and wherever else is implied. In fact, Eastwood believes that Starfield is close to being ready for launch, saying he wouldn't be surprised if it dropped before Redfall. Reportedly, Redfall has been delayed internally by about 6 weeks, which that sucks, because I'm so ready. It was supposed to come out last year. I'm so ready for Redfall. But reports have pointed to Redfall releasing in May. Whatever happens with both games' releases, there's clearly a lot riding on Starfield and Redfall for the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox Game Pass, and more. So I just want to talk on that. Two things. The first thing being Starfield, kind of the things that we were all worried about are apparently, according to these playtesters, like they were surprised at how well it was being done. So I want to talk about that.
No.
And I want to talk about just how Xbox hasn't done anything and how, there is a lot riding on Starfield and Redfall here. But what are your guys' thoughts on kind of these playtesters' thoughts? Adrian, I know you have an opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We were talking earlier before the show, and I was saying I thought it was from the perspective when you said play testers, that it was like, you know how when studios used to fly people in for previews of their game,
like
and they would put you up in a hotel and all that. Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about. And I'm like, well, usually when people get that kind of treatment, they come back with a bunch of bias. Right? They'll try to show the good of the game because of how well they were treated, but then you said, no, this is regular QA. They had good food,
they got to stay in a good hotel, whatever. But no, this is supposedly actual QA playtesters from what I understand.
Okay. So from what we saw, you and me, Garrett, when we saw the original preview, I just feel like there are a lot of things that I don't know if they had the time to iron out, especially because it's Bethesda. So we will just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. At this point, there was too much in that trailer that made me go, I wonder if they're going to look at that. I wonder if they're going to fix this. This frame rate for a next-gen console doesn't seem very stable. Small stuff like that, which, of course, you can optimize up until the end. But I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm still a little skeptical on some of those things. But, JJ, what are your thoughts? Like, how are you feeling about Starfield?
So whereas you guys are both really skeptical, I try to look at it from a really optimistic standpoint. That's one of those games that really sells the Xbox for me. When you look at any of those previews that have come out, the trailers for Starfield, it's like the scope of it is so big, and it's the type of world that I want to be immersed in. So I saw some of the frame rate issues. I saw some of the little things, and I'm like, I try to typically go, okay, I'm looking at what's out there, and I'm excited and hopeful that it's going to be fantastic and that I'm going to be able to get myself lost in whatever world that they've created for me. I think that it's really exciting to hear that people have been in the field playing the game, these playtesters, and that they're coming away with positive, stuff about it. I don't think if there was negative, I don't think they'd hide that. I think they would say it's mediocre. It's
right. If something was going to be leaked, because obviously these are leaks, because it's all under NDA. So the fact that people are talking about they're breaking the law, if they're going to break the law, you'd think it would be about bad things. They'd be like, oh, this game's whatever. So the fact that it's good coming out kind of is like, all right, maybe that's a good sign. I don't know.
and I also want you to deposit this as a theory, is that these playtesters are people who play video games. So they're not picking, your uncle who's never played a video game before and sitting them in front of you know what I mean? So they're putting people like us in front of the systems and handing them this game and going,
at least you
give it
hope
a try,
so.
give it a whirl. Well, that's the hope.
I don't have experience in the games industry, but I would hope the QA testers are at least a little bit experienced.
Well, and that's where I've been at the moment that I read this article when you sent it over, because I did actually read. Thank you very much. Is I was thinking that they're putting people that have gaming experience in front of these systems and saying give this game a try and let us know what you think. And for them to be leaking out good stuff, that's a positive. That's a good thing.
Unless it's all a ploy by Xbox and they're leaking false.
That damn Jim Ryan, that son of a bitch.
They're just like the play testers, quote unquote. It's Todd Howard like writing emails to people.
What's that? Play testing? No. We're Bethesda. We don't do that.
Yeah.
I am curious because I've kind of heard a conflicting report, and I figured you guys being the smart ones on this show, you probably know a little better than I. And mostly I'm looking at Adrian right now because, Garrett, sorry. This is going to be on Game Pass, right? I mean, this Starfield is okay. Yeah. So it is going to be something that with a Game Pass Ultimate, you are going to end up being able to play this game day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and again, that's a system seller for me.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I believe it's coming to Game Pass PC. I would hope from everything Xbox has done so far, any Xbox exclusive comes to both console and PC, because otherwise I won't be able to play it. But that's something I was thinking about. I was like, man, in general, Bethesda games are janky at launch. Mm-hmm. I was like, they're janky on console. I'm like, boy,
they're janky for a while.
Yeah, they're janky.
They have to go through and patch and fix everything up.
Right, they're janky for a while, and they're janky even on console, which you would think it'd be run a little better on. So I'm like, the fact that I'm going to be playing this on PC, I'm like, oh boy, like, is this thing even going to run? Is it going to even be stable at launch? Like, that's what I'm more worried about. Is like, is this even just general performance? Like, am I going to be able to play anything? Is it just going to crash immediately trying to load thousands of galaxies, on my 3070 here? I guess we'll find out in a few months, but. It's bizarre to me that, it's supposed to be coming out so soon and we still don't have a release date. That seems crazy to me. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and Redfall's due out in May, they're saying, right?
It's a rumor. We don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It was supposed to be coming out. It's supposed to come out last year, and then they said this year, and then apparently, according to this article, internally it's been delayed, but they haven't announced it publicly yet. So it might be delayed again.
So then we're lucky more than likely to see Starfield if it comes out in 2023, November or December of this year. That'll probably be the most likely.
Starfield? Well, no. According to this thing, they think we're going to get Starfield before Redfall.
Really?
According to this article, they seem to think Starfield will come out before, which if Starfield goes from spring to summer, like this could be first half of the year. According to these rumors. I don't know. Obviously, we have to wait and see. But
when do you think we get a hard date?
Starfield was supposed to come out in November of last year, so it's already been delayed. So I could.
When do you think we get a hard date for this? You think Xbox has any events this year before then?
No, I don't see them doing any sort of event until summer, until E3 or Summer Game Fest or whatever they do.
I was gonna say maybe E3. That might be when they announce that it's coming out in December. Because isn't December when they typically end up putting out their big games? Like they did Halo in December, right? Or November, December.
Yeah, it is, and that's why even this game originally was supposed to come out last November, but because it's been delayed for so long and hush hush, and same thing with Redfall. I feel like they don't have the luxury of waiting anymore. 2022 was such a bad year for Xbox as far as releases go. They don't have the luxury.
Year.
And what's that, Adrian?
An awful year for Xbox last year.
Oh,
nothing came out really.
Nothing
except Scorn.
But even that wasn't even that. It was an Xbox exclusive, but I don't think it was a first party game. They didn't have any first party games that came out last year, if I remember right.
Insanity.
Right.
You mean Crazy. That game was so horrible.
So I feel like they can't wait until winter to release like they normally do, fall and winter. They have to release things sooner, because if they don't, people are going to start rioting. That's messed up. That's crazy. Imagine buying an Xbox Series X and not being able to play an Xbox first. Yeah, you have Game Pass, but I mean, people want to play these big,
That's not
awesome.
sustainable.
They want to play these awesome AAA games from Xbox, and when they can't, like Adrian, they go and sell them and get rid of them, and they're losing their player base. Like that's not good either.
But if they have Redfall coming out in May,
Maybe.
they are going to want to stagger. They're going to want to stagger those games. They're not going to put Starfield and Redfall out at the same time.
But that's just another example because Redfall was supposed to be out last
summer, I believe. Yeah, so
Right.
it was supposed to come out before Starfield. It was going to be Redfall, and it was going to be Starfield in November. But yeah,
Everything they said that was coming out in 2022 got pushed, and that immediately sets, the alarms off.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I feel like Xbox at this point just needs to put, as soon as the thing's ready, just put it out. Like, even if they just start shadow dropping things. Like, I just want to wake up and
Get something out there.
Starfield's on Game Pass. I just wake up tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh, okay, let's download the sucker. Like, that would be amazing. Like, hey, surprise, suckers. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But
How big of a download do you think it's going to be?
I'd say 90 to 100.
yeah, it's gonna be a big boy. It's gonna be a big boy. Make sure you have some room on your Series X for sure.
I have an S, so I'm not going to have any room. I'll have to delete everything that's on there or something.
Or spend, $200 for their proprietary memory cards or whatever it is.
Which is
crazy.
insanity.
All right, let's hit this last news story real quick. There's not necessarily much more to say on this than what it already is, but I do want to share this because I know there's some fans of Bungie out there. That's right. This comes from GameSpot from Darren Bonthus. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Destiny 2 developer Bungie has a number of unannounced games in the works. For almost a decade, Bungie's primary work has been focused on Destiny, but the studio has a number of unannounced projects in the pipeline following its acquisition by Sony last year. According to Bungie's senior lead designer, Tom Farnsworth, Sony is supporting the studio with these projects, but don't expect any reveals yet. This isn't the first time that Bungie has teased its future as it heads into the end game of Destiny 2, which will see 2 more expansions set to release in 2023 and 2024. A recent report indicated that the developer could be bringing back one of its pre-Halo series, Marathon, which, are you guys familiar with the game Marathon? I've never heard of that IP before.
Marathon. Why does that sound like?
That was like a Mac game or like
Yeah.
like a PC game.
Yes, you are correct, I think. Yeah, from what I'm looking up, it was originally released on the Mac.
That was
Mac.
twice in one show, boys.
Back
Twice in one show.
The early 90s, 94, 95, 96. So
And that's why I know what it is, because you guys weren't even born yet.
It was meant to.
I was a couple years old. So yeah, there's rumors that they could be bringing back Marathon, which will take the form of a 3-person squad extraction-based shooter. Sony's $3.6 billion acquisition of Bungie last July is part of its bigger plan to enhance its live game service capabilities, with the company intending to launch 12 live service titles by 2025. We believe it will be a catalyst to enhance our live game services capabilities, Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida said when the news was made official. Our acquisition of Bungie also represents a major step forward in becoming more multi-platform. It goes on and on a little bit more about the deal that happened, but Bungie might be moving on. I assume one of those unannounced games will be Bungie 3. There's no way they're going to stop making, or sorry,
Destiny?
not Bungie, Destiny 3.
Bungie
There's no way they're going to
3,
stop.
Yep.
There's no way, I mean, at this point, it might as well just be called Bungie because that's all they do now. Destiny 3, but the other two, I hope it's some new IPs and not just like spin-offs. I hope we don't just get like, here's a Destiny whatever card-based, deck building game or something like that, or
Bungie
whatever.
also came up with some Halo games, and they were an Xbox company before, right? And then they ended up going back to being private. And then this acquisition happened. And did you say it was with a billion?
Yeah,
$3 billion?
That was last summer that happened. Yeah, $3.6 billion.
Astronomical.
I don't know why you hit
amount of
that
money.
B so hard in billions like it's the
Billion?
Activision deal.
Well, and that's what I don't understand. Okay, I've never been a fan of Destiny games, and so
You just offended Kojima.
Okay, all right. I know. Sorry, Kojoma. Like Kojoma's probably
He's
gonna
grabbing
like,
his chest right now.
Oh,
It's like
I know.
in the,
Like
in the
like
top
a
corner of the screen, like in a Fallout game where it says like Kojoma will remember that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kojoma. But I just don't. I don't see them being worth that much money. I mean, is there that many people that play Destiny?
Oh, Destiny's
really
massive, dude. Destiny's
There's that
huge.
many little Kojomas that out there that
Bigger than you think, man.
There's a lot of Kojomas in the world. A lot of Kojomas.
there's only one Kojoma in our heart, though, right?
Yo, of course.
I half expected you to go. Well.
I thought about it.
But yeah, so obviously we don't have any idea. We can speculate all night, but I just wanted to share that little tidbit. It was just like a random little tweet. It wasn't even like a main tweet. It was like 2 or 3 tweets down in a tweet thread by Tom Farnsworth, who's the senior lead designer. He just kind of haphazardly just kind of threw out, yeah, we got a bunch of unannounced projects coming. It's like, all right, cool. So look forward to that. I hope we hear more about it soon. I almost did it again, Bungie 2. Destiny 2 coming to a close soon. Like, I would hope they'd kind of get us hyped for some new games here, because
New IPs, baby.
new IPs. I want to see them spread their wings a little bit. Make something cool. Do something different than just sci-fi, basically multiplayer Halo. A good multiplayer Halo, because Halo Infinite was so bad. All right, that's it for the nerdy news this week. Let's get into the Patreon ad. All right, this is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1. You get episodes early and ad-free, such as this show and Super Gamer Book Club. You can support us over there and get those. This show you get it immediately after we're recording. I upload it. And Book Club, you get it 2 months early. What a steal. $1, and you can listen to some quality content and help support our channel and help us make bigger, better, cooler things for you. $5 a month, you can get the show notes early and as well, so you'll know exactly what we're going to be talking about on these shows. You can leave your own questions, comments, concerns, kind of see behind the curtain what's going on with the planning of the shows and the episodes. Who's going to be on the show? I usually put who's going to be on there, the introductions and everything. So think about supporting us there at the $5 a month. $10 a month, you get the shout out on the show. You're a Super Gamer sponsor, where each and every episode we shout out your name at the top of the episode, so people know that you are a big time Super Gamer Boys fan. And then obviously the top dog tier, our Patreon producers. You can support us there, and you get all the previous perks, as well as you have our ear to kind of pitch different segments, different ideas. If you have some quality of life improvements to the show, to episodes, maybe a new segment, whatever it might be. We're open to listen and take those critiques, and hey, maybe you can even be on an episode or two once in a while. I think most of our Patreon producers have been on a show at one time or another. I think the only one is Bumble Smash has not. Kojoma's actually never. We talk about Kojoma all the time, but he's never been on an episode.
My gosh, we ought to do Destiny 2 and have Kojoma, old school Hideo Kojoma, come in and sit in.
Heck yeah. That would be fantastic. Think about supporting us over there at patreon.com/supergamerboys. We'd very much appreciate it. Also, remember, if you're watching us here at twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Prime Gaming. When you link your Amazon to your Twitch account, you get 1 free sub every month, and make sure to send that sub our way. It costs you $0. We get $5, and it helps the channel, and you get some cool emotes of Adrian's face, my face, JJ's face, that you can spread around Twitch as you go from channel to channel. Spread the Super Gamer Boys cheer. And last but not least, we are sponsored by W.GG. Remember to go over there. When you buy an energy drink, you're looking for something that doesn't have a ton of sugar. You're not going to crash. Heck, maybe it'll even have a special ingredient, some neurofactor to help you think better and get through the day a little cleaner. make sure to use W.GG. You can use our code SGB, get 10% off your order. We also get a kickback. They got some fantastic flavors over there. Like I said, it's gluten-free, sugar-free, no crash, and neurofactor will help you keep your brain sharp all day.
Hey, you want to talk about sharpness? Gee. What else does W make sharp? It makes you sharp in the bedroom. You know what I'm talking about? Where you can cut through all the BS like a knife. I'm telling you what, just a couple of little sips of W energy drinks. Whatever flavors they got. Whether it's Galaxy Grenade, there's Montabulous Melons.
Nope.
And some of the other ones. They're freaking amazing. They taste so good. They really do give you a lot of great energy without that crash. And you can get it up again after 10 minutes. It's amazing stuff, Debbie.
Yeah, so go check it out, please. They got some good drinks over there. I think we better
God,
move
I
on.
missed W Energy. Gary. I missed it.
I know.
I've missed it.
You could have ordered some during break.
Yeah, I did. They won't return my calls now. I tried to log
I wonder
on.
why.
I don't know.
They're like, oh, yeah, they've canceled our partnership, but we just keep running these ads.
They're like, no, don't tell them. They'll keep
Like,
doing
don't-
it. Free advertising.
Free advertising. We're not going to tell them that we're not going to help them out anymore, though. Oh, man. But, yeah, so go check them out. Help support the show. Get some good energy and nothing else. That's it. Just some really good energy.
Like, wait, nothing at all?
Nothing.
Okay.
Just good energy without the crash. That's all. And good flavor. It tastes good. All right, let's move on before JJ says something inappropriate and gets us canceled. All right, we are back. And it's the time of the show where I ask you guys what you plan. So, you guys have had plenty of time to play some games. JJ, there is a game that you wanted to talk about on the last episode of 2022, but of course, you didn't show up because you love your job more than you love our podcast.
I don't remember that being.
He can't resist the taste of leather.
Yeah. And you told us, you told me anyways, you're like, there's a game I've been playing I really want to talk about. I'm so mad I'm not on the episode tonight. And then you winked. I don't know why you winked. After you said I'm so mad at when.
Because I was like, oh no, I was totally prepared.
Oh man, shoot, I'm not going to make it. But anyways, what you been playing, JJ? Tell me.
So I'm so glad that you asked, Garrett, Adrian, and the listening audience. I've been playing more games in the last few weeks, the last month, than I have in a very long time. So the holiday sales were amazing. So I actually picked up a buttload of great platformers and indie games, little small games. Over the last week, I've been playing a game called The Great Perhaps, and it's a Russian platformer game where you're an astronaut and the world has like ended and you're like traveling back and forth in time as you're like trying to come up with clues to figure out what happened and see if you can reverse like the world ending. It's really short. It's not very long. It took me a couple of hours to beat the game. Lot of fun. It's called The Great Perhaps, and I picked it up for I think $1 on PSN.
You heard it here first. JJ single-handedly supporting the Russian war effort.
Hey, don't worry. This is
You know what? I was just getting ready to say he's playing Russian games. He got our mail forwarded from some guy named Demeter.
I just want to say,
you might be a spy, my good man.
The views and opinions held by JD do not reflect Super Gamer Boys as a whole.
I support Ukraine.
I think we need to look up a couple of hotline numbers here when we get done.
I support Ukraine. So
I don't believe it.
so really fun game, The Great Perhaps. I picked up a handful of other games. I haven't gotten a chance to play any of them. I'm excited to talk about those in the future. But because of having Game Pass, I have been able to play a couple of really great games. Every night for a while, I have been coming home and playing with my daughter, who's 7. My little Emma, she's the apple of Daddy's eye. And we've been playing Hello Neighbor 2. And so I've seen this stuff a little bit here and there, and it's kind of a spooky game where you're sneaking into a house and you're getting caught and you get thrown out and you got to try to get back in, and there's various clues and you keep going through the levels of the home. And I've had so much fun with my daughter, and if you guys could be in my house in the evenings for that hour or maybe a little bit more of her squealing with laughter when we get caught, and it just being so much fun to spend quality time with her, it's everything to me. So I've been having a lot of fun with Hello Neighbor 2. The game is okay, but it's more about like that interaction that I'm getting with my daughter.
Right.
Just playing and like getting scared, like, they got me again, and it's like, and like, dude, I'll tell you what, like when he shows up out of nowhere and catches you, it is like, oh dang, you're thrown out. You're like, oh my gosh, and it will jar you and kind of spook you a little bit. It's kind of fun. The other game that I've been playing, I don't know if you guys are fans. I'm a huge fan of Justin Roiland and Rick and Morty. And this game, High on Life, has been, dude, guys, if there's one game that was meant for me, that was written for me, that was...
Garrett, we told him this, remember?
Yeah, I think so.
So this is the same voices from Rick and Morty. Morty specifically is the voice of the gun that you're using throughout this game, and basically it's an alien invasion.
It's just Justin Roiland does all the voices. He does all the characters.
I don't think he's doing it as Morty.
But he's doing the Morty voice.
A Morty type
it's like
voice. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just how he sounds.
It might be just how he sounds.
Have you seen an interview? That's kind of just how he sounds, honestly.
Were you just talking like that? Oh yeah. So it's so much fun. It's so filthy as hell. Now this is when the kids go to bed. That's when I'm playing this game. And dude, it's so much fun. So basically there's an alien invasion, and the aliens end up actually taking your home where you are with your sister, and they like transport your entire home and like half a block around your house up onto some space station somewhere. And you're going through this crazy world where there's all these aliens and different various types of aliens. And at one point, like this alien kid gets in the thing and starts challenging you and like whatever. And like, so I just was like, and I shot the kid in the head and killed it, right? Killed this alien kid, and the alien kid fell down, and I was like, holy crap. But the alien kid was like challenging me. He was like saying a bunch of stuff, and he's like, whatever. I'll kill you. I'll cut your head. So I was like, oh, and I just shot him, right? And then the gun is talking to me, and the gun says, what did you just do? You just killed a kid. Oh my God, dude, are you serious? And I'm like, oh, dude, was I not supposed to do that? And then like you go down a little bit further, and then an identical alien that's a little older female is like, you're the one who just killed my son. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did. Well, you know what? And she's like, it's okay. He deserved it. I kept telling him to stop doing that to people, that he was going to get shot in the face one day. And then she goes, it's okay. and then you just leave that lady crying. And I'm like, I love this game. This game was meant for me.
I'm surprised you didn't kill her, honestly.
I tried. It wouldn't
with how you play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm surprised you didn't kill everyone.
I think I tried to shoot her, and the gun was like, are you serious? What are you doing? You can't shoot her in the face. Dude, I'm telling you guys, this game is so much better than it has any right to be. And it's so wonky and graphic and funny. And if you guys like Rick and Morty, please give High on Life a chance.
Yeah, I installed it immediately after you said that. I'm like, all right, I got to give it a shot. I haven't had a chance to try it, but my plan was I want to play it and I want to stream it. I think it'd be fun to stream. So
absolutely.
That was my thought. So I have it installed. I just need to find like a day sometime this week or something. And I think it'd be fun to like at least kick it off. Maybe not play the whole thing online, but to stream a little bit of it because it's just such an outlandish game. Like I think it'd be fun to hang out with people while we play it. But oh man, that's awesome. I'm glad you finally got to talk about it. I know you've been holding that in for like 2-3 weeks now. So yeah. That's awesome. Adrian, what you playing?
So I just rolled credits on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which a masterpiece almost, man. It's like rubbing on the edge of greatness. You know what I mean? It's so gorgeous. It honestly feels like it could have been a motion picture the way that it's animated so well. I have never seen animation as good on characters in a game as this one. It's oh my god. The level design was awesome. Everything about it pretty much I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Only reason I say that is because the trophy list was a little bit awkward. I think there were a couple of ways they could have tightened that up, but the game itself is phenomenal. I don't know what was it, 2021 it came out? I don't know if it was nominated for Game of the Year, but it should have been. But I can understand how it wasn't because, people view it as a kid's game. But man, what a friggin' game.
Yeah, I saw you platinumed it. I basically 100%ed most of it, but there was a couple things I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So that's why I didn't platinum it. I was just I don't know. I think I got a bunch of collectibles, I got all the guns and upgrades, stuff like that. But I think there's a couple other things that are just outside of that, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna bother with it.
I'm trying to make it a thing this year, so I want to platinum the Sony titles. So anything else can get I'll finish it, but the first party stuff I want to get the platinum in.
Nice. So that's awesome.
Being that you had the Series X and you had it from the get, and then you recently got rid of it, and now we had our moments with how you felt about Sony and the PlayStation stuff, and now you have the PS5. How are you feeling about this generation now? With the games that you have gotten an opportunity to play, are they killing it?
So far, they're 2 for 2 now, because I started off with God of War.
Astro's Playroom, he started off.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, 3 for 3 actually. Started off with Astro's. I think Astro is a masterpiece as far as showing off what a console is capable of. And then God of War Ragnarok after that, which, I mean, come on now, the general consensus is it's in the top 10. I can see a lot of people putting it in their top 10. And then now I just finished Ratchet and Clank, same deal, phenomenal. And now I'm on my way to starting Horizon. So as far as this lineup goes, I haven't run into anything that hasn't been at least great. Which speaks a lot to Sony, and I think that's also attributed to the fact that they don't have 40 something studios to try to manage and keep in line like Microsoft does. Because realistically, Phil Spencer, there's no way he can keep his eye on every single studio and make sure they're all doing what they're supposed to be doing. And having somebody go in there and say, hey, this sucks, fix it, right? Which is why we get so many subpar and so many mediocre games. But Sony's able to have their much smaller, stable focus, and they're able to go in there and troubleshoot and see what works and what doesn't in workshop. And that's why you get a much better product from them, which is what I'm experiencing at this point. That's not to say that we can't get great stuff from Microsoft. They're definitely capable of it, but I think management is just, we've talked about this before, that management I don't think is able to corral all these studios, and that's why they're falling by the wayside. Things are getting delayed. Things are getting, released early. So
when they were smaller, when they were smaller, Phil Spencer could keep an eye on all the studios and be like quality, and kill it. But now that they've bought out Bethesda, and then they picked up all these other random studios. They're in the middle of trying to get Activision Blizzard. Now they have, they've quadrupled the amount of studios they had before, and he's
Mojang.
And he's still trying to single-handedly keep an eye on everything. It's no, you got to start relegating that stuff to other people. Hey, you do these 10, you do these 10, you do these 10. Because when you're trying to manage 40 some studio or however many they have, it's that's not doable. But so 100%.
But so far, I don't really have any complaints.
That's awesome.
Games are great. Hardware seems to be holding up fine. It's still not my favorite design, but I can tolerate it now as far as a console.
The hardware, you mean, or even the menus and stuff?
The menu is okay. I think I think I like the cross media bar more. But of course, this is just an evolution of that. I mean, you can tell there's still like DNA of our cross media bar, but I think there's some work that they could still do on it. But overall, I'd say I'm having a positive experience. So
better than the Xbox, huh?
Yeah.
So far,
and I hate to say that because I would love for both of them to be doing well, but
Absolutely.
got to call a spade a spade. So yeah, I finished Ratchet and Clank. And now I'm on to Horizon Forbidden West, which, man, I haven't played but maybe about 15 minutes, and good grief. Like, every single one of these games that I've played has just been absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, your jaw just drops. Like, how can it look
Every
any better?
time.
And then you play the next one, you're like, how can it look any better? It's crazy, yeah.
And I'm like, man, they all look and play phenomenal. And it's just...
What's incredible is that's even with games. I mean, with Ratchet and Clank, that only came out on PS5, but like God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West both came out on PS4, and they still look as good as they do on the PS5 version. Like even with that kind of like that holding them back a little bit. So, man, like it's insane the power that the PlayStation has that still hasn't fully been unleashed. But even with just like the little taste that we're getting, it still just blows PS4 out of the water in a lot of ways, which is so cool.
I feel like Ratchet and Clank, I don't think that even that took advantage of the full hardware. I feel
totally.
I feel like that was a last minute switch to be like, nope, make it PS5 only. I feel like Insomniac probably pushed for that.
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
I think Sony pushed for it because they wanted something that could only be on that console.
Right.
Which was that, and which was Returnal, which I'm also excited to get into down the road. And then I also picked up and started Persona 5 Royal on the Switch. So expect to hear updates about that for the next few months. What's that?
It's out now?
It's been out for a while. I just hadn't gotten around to picking it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
I'll keep you posted on that.
Sweet. Oh, well, I have been playing Chrono Trigger since that's the book club game, and it's fun. I'll talk more about it on the book club episodes later this month, but it's a game I've been playing on 3DS. Sorry, my 2DS. What is it? I don't know, but it's a 2DS.
It's a 2DS you have.
2DS XL that I have. And honestly, like, this is like the perfect little console to play it on. Like, it just feels so good. The screens are like, I like it. Yeah, it's the XL, so it's the bigger screens, a bigger touch screen. Really, I'm glad I picked that up. I'm glad you told me about that because I bought it on Steam because I'm like, you can't play it anywhere unless I want to play like on original console, which I was like, I don't want to drag my PS1 out at this point. Like, I just want to play something easy. And I was hoping it was on the Switch, and it blew my mind that it wasn't on Switch yet. Can't believe it. But when you told me it was on 3DS, I picked it up and immediately I'm like, oh man, this is like the way to play. Like, it feels so good. Like having the second screen for like all like the menu stuff is super
battle
nice.
info and menus. Yep.
It feels good. It sounds good even. Fantastic little system there. Like, I like the 3DS. So, and I was able to get my refund on Steam. I bought it on Steam and I was like, nope, refund that sucker.
Perfect.
I'm on 3DS. I also played a bunch of Darktide. I actually streamed the last, even though we didn't have an episode recording Monday nights, the last 2 Mondays I've been still playing games and streaming. Played some Darktide, Warhammer Darktide with my brother, which was a blast. Fantastic Warhammer game, which again, I mentioned it a few weeks ago when I had played it. But if you liked Vermintide before, play this game. It's just so freaking fun. Like, this fighting hordes. It's just horde mode, multiplayer horde mode, you know, but in the Warhammer world. So
did you do some math homework while you were playing, you nerd?
No. If you like the horde mode from Gears of War or like the zombies from Call of Duty, like, you would like this game because or like Left 4 Dead. It's really like Left 4 Dead with bigger hordes of zombies, essentially. Like, you're going through a map from point A to point B, completing objectives while there's just hordes and crazy bosses and enemies coming at you. It's so much fun. There's even like it's called the Demon Host. Like, this character, it's basically like the witch from Left 4 Dead, where if you like get near it, it'll startle it and then come attack you. If you leave it alone, it'll just like sit there. It's a blast. I love it. And it looks freaking gorgeous. Like I turned it down to low settings at one point just because I'm like, oh, my frames were dropping or whatever on the computer while I was streaming it. And it still like looked absolutely gorgeous, even on like low graphical settings. So I don't know what magic they're doing over there at whatever. I don't even know what studio made it, but it's a beautiful game through and through. So check that out. It's on Game Pass. It's free. So I mean, if you have Game Pass, you might as well. And the last thing I played is even nerdier than Warhammer, but it was actually a lot of fun. So I played this game, which isn't really a game, called DCS World. So that stands for Digital Combat Simulator. So this is something my brother recommended. I was playing Darktide with him, and one night after we got done playing, he's like, "Hey, like you should check out this flight simulator. Go check it out." I'm like, "All right, cool." So he's like, "It's free.
Is it like Tabs?
Download it." So no, it's a super hyper realistic flight simulator, like just like Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, flight. I thought you said fight simulator.
No, sorry, yeah, flight, as in like flying things. But it's focused more on military craft. For those of you who don't know, my brother's in the Army, and so he's like, "Hey, there's a sick game. It's flight simulator, but it's military vehicles like jets, helicopters, stuff like that, and it's free to play." So I download this thing, and it has VR support. So for about a week, maybe not a full week, about 3 or 4 nights the one week though, we jumped in and were attempting to pilot an Apache helicopter, running some missions where we can actually do multiplayer. So he was in the pilot seat, taking off, flying on this helicopter around. I'm in the co-pilot seat in the front of this Apache. In VR, we can like look around, look at each other. I'm reaching around, flipping knobs and switches and stuff. And I was in the front or in the gunner position running like the missiles and the machine gun and all that stuff. And we were having a lot of fun. But let me tell you, it is freaking hard. It's a simulator, so it is accurate. Like he literally sent me a website. He's like, "All right, here's the flight manual." And it was straight up just a PDF with pictures of like actual cockpits or like screenshots of like actual cockpit of like an Apache, and like, "All right, this switch does this and this knob does this and this throttle, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, by the time I was done, I'm like, I could fly an actual Apache helicopter right now. Like if you wanted me to, I'd run out there. I'd know how to fire those missiles. That's easy peasy. Like I do that. I can do that in my sleep now. So I don't know.
And then your brother was like, "Hey, isn't this really fun? Isn't this cool? Maybe you should sign up for the Army and join me."
Yeah, I'm too.
It's
old
a
for
secret
that.
recruiting tool. It's propaganda.
It's propaganda. But yeah. That's what he probably gets a bonus if I sign on, huh?
I'm telling you,
it's
propaganda.
I should have known. But no, it was a lot of fun. I honestly was having a blast. It gave us a headache for a couple nights because the controls were so hard to get set up. But once the controls are set up in VR, it's a mixture between VR controls, and then I was even using my DualShock for like some of like the missile stuff, like for lock on and stuff like that. Since I don't have a joystick, my brother has all like the, he's a single guy with, in the Army, so he has some money. So he has like the flight stick, the throttles, like all the actual official gear.
Of course he does.
Where I'm over here like, well, I have a PlayStation controller. Can I use that? He's like, yeah, you can use that. But yeah, we were having a blast in that. If anything, it was just fun to spend time with my brother in a video game because we don't get to do that often. So to play Darktide with him, play DCS, it was a lot of fun. It was fun, like little Christmas holiday break, spending some time with my brother and playing some fun games. So yeah, good times.
See, bro, you don't even need a flight stick. You could just sign up and you can mess with the real one.
Yeah, just fly a real one. Come try it out. Except in DCS, if we get hit, the screen just goes black and it says, game over. In real life, it's a little more permanent, unfortunately. There's no Dark Souls ending. You die.
I mean, the screen does go black and it is game over.
Yeah,
so
I guess so. I guess in a lot of ways it's the same. There's just no restart button. That's all.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for listening to this week's episode. We appreciate each and every one of you for bearing with us through the holiday break there. We took a couple weeks off. If you missed the book club episodes, make sure to go listen to those because they were fantastic. And remember, you can support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys to get those early and ad free. Like the episode we were talking about, the Kingdom Hearts episode. You should go check that out. That was a lot of fun. So support us over there, get episodes early and ad-free. Check out Super Gamer Book Club, because that's an amazing show that Adrian hosts. I feel like it doesn't get enough love. We talk about it a lot, and I feel like it doesn't get enough love. So go listen to it right now. If you're not subscribed to it, you can find it on podcast feeds and YouTube. Go watch it. Go listen. It's fantastic. SGPstore.com is another way you can support us. Go over there and buy some merch. You can get a coffee mug, you can get t-shirts, you can get stickers, and help rep our podcast. Share it with your friends. They might be like, hey, what's that? You know, wearing a cool t-shirt, wearing a cool coffee, wearing a coffee mug, using your coffee mug. Go check it out and help, show it off. Show off your Super Gamer Boys pride. And Adrian has been working on some new stuff. Maybe I was
getting ready to say, and you may not be wearing those designs for too much longer.
Yeah, he tried to share the designs with me, but the app he was using does not work. So, or at least on my end, my phone was not happy with it. So I need to get those designs from him in another way. But from what I can kind of see, they're looking pretty sick. So look forward to that. I'm excited.
Got some stuff brewing.
Yeah. Remember, you can support us over at w.gg. Use our code SGB, get 10% off. Rate and review us where we can. That's something we talk about not every episode, but we try to touch on it once in a while. Over on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a review for us. That helps tremendously. And on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It's amazing the amount of you who are not subscribed. You watch our stuff and you're not subscribed. I don't know how you find our stuff or how you even knew that we put out new content if you're not subscribed.
And thank you for watching, of course.
Thank you for watching, but it doesn't cost anything. It's $0 for you to just click the subscribe button and just, you know what? I would prefer you to turn on notifications, but if it's really that much of an issue, just turn off notifications. I'd be happy with your sub, even if you don't ever get notified of our new stuff again. So go ahead.
Just let it go into a backlog, and then you can come back and just binge it.
Yeah, we're gonna be the one and only YouTube channel to ever say this, but I want you to smash that subscribe button. Don't hit the bell though. Don't do it
unless you want to.
You know,
don't hit the bell.
Just leave it. Just leave it, because you know what? I'm just happy with your subscription. I would love you to watch it as well, but if that's annoying to you, just turn it off and then come back and watch like 6 months worth of episodes in a day. Just binge it. It'll be great. Shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use their music on our show. Remember, you can find them over on Apple Music and Spotify. Links to their stuff in the show description. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I am over on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
And JJ, where can they find you at?
You can find my personal Twitter at JJ Purdom. You can always follow me over at the Suplex City Pod. The Suplex City Podcast is each and every week, of course, produced by the Super Gamer Boys. And this next upcoming show, we're going to be talking all about Vince McMahon coming back, hostile takeover, returning to the board of directors at the WWE. It's insanity. It's crazier than any wrestling angle. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Also, you just launched your new YouTube channel, so go check them out. YouTube.com/@. YouTube's doing the weird thing where now they have like handles like you do on Twitter. So it's youtube.com/@SuplexCityPod. I don't know. Right. If you don't put the ad on there, you don't go to it. So make sure you pad the ad.
Silly me, it's super brand new, but yeah, please go check us out on YouTube, and if you can, subscribe there as well, guys. We are not only going to be putting our podcast up there, but we're also doing other content, and we're starting to do some reels, some TikToks, some YouTube shorts, and some stuff like that. So please go give it a follow.
Heck yeah! All right, that's all I got, JJ.
All right, and that's all I got. And for Adrian Homeboy Holmes, for Garrett Morlang, and for myself, JJ Purdom, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
We back, baby.
Idea. I was holding back so much, Garrett. I wanted to just pound your little sack right now so much.
Ouch.
What?
I just wanted to just
What
give
are you
it
phrase
to him,
that?
When I say pound his sack, I didn't mean it like that. No,
it's
you're
too
taking
late.
it the wrong
it's
way.
On the internet. Bye.